Hey guys, Pissy Ninja Team Scion here at you with my magic deck. This is all Merfolk based. It's called Sleep with the Fish. It's all about untapping your own stuff. I might actually get some friends and kind of do like a how to play magic kind of thing. Other than that, I'm gonna kind of go through the deck and kind of show you guys a little bit of what this stuff does. Basically, this entire deck revolves around untapping your own stuff, or yeah, pretty much your own stuff. That's really your main goal. And basically beating your opponent down. So the first card I want to show you guys is an enchantment, Marrow Commerce. At the end of the turn, every one of my Merfolk untaps itself. Great card, especially for setting up like defending plays. Merfolk Sovereign. All Merfolk creatures get +1/+1. I got 2 of them in here, and you can tap her to become, or have a Merfolk become unblockable. So basically it can run through defenders. Tide Force Elemental, cost of a blue mana and tapping it, I can tap or untap another target creature. And whenever island is played or another land, mostly all this stuff is blue, so there's going to be a lot of islands. Basically, I can untap Tide Force Elemental. Really great card. Wasn't in the original deck list, I just like the way that Tide Force kind of added to it. Coral Trickster has a morph ability. If you don't know what morph is, I'll run through it really quickly at the end of the video. Basically, when she's unmorphed, I can tap or untap target creature or permanent. That includes enchantments and stuff like that. Regery. Merfolk at +1/+1. Again, like Sovereign, I can get up to a total +4/+4 to all my Merfolk. And whenever I play a Merfolk spell, and a spell is pretty much everything you see here, I can untap or tap target permanent. Stony Book Banneret. There's 4 of them. In Magic, you can have a maximum of 4 of a card, unless otherwise stated. And it has Island Walk, which means if my opponent has an island, I can sneak through their entire forces and they can't defend. Basically, Merfolk and Wizard cost 1 colorless mana less that are to cast. So instead of, the second I get 1 Banneret, I can play the next Banneret for just 1 blue mana instead of a blue mana and a mana of choice. Silver Gill Adept, just a little bit of draw power. That's pretty much it. Whenever I play it, I can either reveal Merfolk or play additional mana, and after that I can draw a card. On to one of my more favorite Merfolk. Drowner Initiate. Whenever I play a blue spell, I can tap 1 colorless. Now the colorless I can tap up to as many times as I have mana for, and my opponent has to mill 2 cards for each 1 mana I just tapped. So I'll show you a little bit of a combo after that. I guess I'll just put them off to the side or something. Jace Belrin, Planeswalkers. I'll go over a little bit of rules with Planeswalkers a little bit later, I guess, in the video. Great card, draw power, not to mention really messes with your opponent. 1 Mind Sculptor. Again, great card, just messes with your opponent. Love Jace, what he does to the deck. Enclave Elite. Has a multi-kicker, not clicker. Basically that means that I can continuously pay mana to give it counters to defend itself, I guess. It also has Island Walk, which is the same thing applicable from Stony Book Banneret. And whenever it gets its counter, it gets +1/+1 for each time it's kicked. So I play it, I kick it as many times as I can, and it'll have +1/+1. One of the greater beaters of this deck, and probably one of my favorite cards in the game, actually. Wake Thrasher. Easily the boss monster of the deck. Whenever something becomes untapped, he gets a +1/+1 counter. Ridiculous, and will absolutely destroy shit. Other than that, I will go through instants and sorceries and stuff like that. And yeah. Okay, so first instant, Reality Spasm. Choose 1, tap X permanents, or untap X permanents. Cost is whatever mana I choose, plus 2 blue. Great card. Paralyzing Grasp. Enchant creature, it doesn't untap during its next untap step. A lot of these instants and sorceries inside this deck will have a big factor in tapping your opponent's monsters and forcing them to take damage without defenders and stuff like that. Next really big card, Sage's Dowsing. It's a wizard card, which means that Stony Brook can actually affect its cost. So if I have 2 Bannerets out, I can cast Sage's Dowsing for just a blue mana, and I can counter a target spell. And if I control a wizard, I can draw a card, which would of course be Banneret. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a counter spell, like they can pay 3 extra and keep casting it, but really I can just drop another one because Sage's Dowsing is actually really good. Kind of you need a 4th one, or maybe not, I don't know. Sleep, one of the biggest cards in the deck. All my opponent's creatures tap, and they can't untap next turn. Great card. That's pretty much like my game-winning condition there. Next card is one of the cards I'm more known for, Ovenize. Target creature loses all of its abilities and becomes 0/1 until the end of turn. So basically I turn whatever creature that they think they can defeat me with into a sheep, and I just run over it. Great card. I love it to pieces. Couldn't find room for 4, but I wish I could. Other than that, really it just lands, and that would be a grand total of 24 lands. And after this, combos coming up. Okay, last thing I wanted to show you guys, this is kind of what a winning field looks like. Big thing here that I want to really stress is that there is no monster limit. You can have millions upon millions of monsters as long as you have the mana to keep them there. Essentially there was some stuff I wanted to go over with. I guess first off, we'll go through Planeswalkers. Planeswalkers are also considered, I guess, players. They're like allies. I don't believe that they're actually considered spells. But each one, they have abilities for. Now, on a monster card, they have these 2 numbers here. First number is power, second number is toughness. This is more or less like an attack and defense kind of thing. Planeswalkers don't have that. They have loyalty. They can be attacked by creatures and spells and stuff like that. So, you have to increase their loyalty to keep them alive, or they pretty much die. Once they hit 0 or below 0, they're dead. So for Jace's +2, I can draw a card. His loyalty goes up to 5, and I get an extra card in my hand. Great. -1, draw. I get to pick who draws a card. I don't really use that unless it's very situational, because it puts them down to 2, and just about anything has 2 power and can run over him. So basically, I really like pump his +2 until I get like 12, 13 or whatever, and then I hit to 10. -10, they put the top 20 cards from their deck to the graveyard. Amazing. Absolutely love him. Other than that, I pretty much just want to show you guys the potential to the deck. Just about in Magic, you can play 1 island, or in my case, an island, every turn. So I guess, in my case, I just kind of picked a random amount of islands. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sure, that makes sense. We'll say approximately 10 turns in. So, during each one of my turns, stuff gets tapped and untapped and will constantly beef up monsters. So I guess the very first thing I want to point out is, it's been about 10 turns. So right now he could be at +6 or 7 counters. So he's already ridiculous. Now I have Sovereign out, 2 of them, so he already gets another +2/+2. Plus Regery, so another +2/+2. So, from here, these guys are pretty much the core. Banneret was definitely helping me spam out stuff, and Wake Thrasher pretty much has the potential to go for game, actually, I think. 10... Either way, Wake Thrasher might not have the potential to go for game with himself, but everybody else, like, consecutively could. So, I'm gonna pay for my win condition here. So by tapping islands, I'm going to cast my sleep spell, which costs a total of 5 mana. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tapped. Like that. Sleep. The entire monster row pretty much becomes tapped, so all their monsters kind of go into like a defense position. Basically, they're out of play, they can't do anything, unless specifically stating they can. So if they don't have any monsters to really defend themselves, which we've already just put into tapped position, then my monsters can attack without worry. Now, another thing I'm going to point out before I start doing anything else Since this is a blue spell, General Initiate can come into effect. So, since I have additional mana left over from my win condition, 4 additional, I can tap those 4 in reaction to sleep to make them mill out 8 cards. And then, of course, from this, push for game and done deal. So thanks, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe.